All right, welcome everybody to our hearing tech talk with Signia hearing aids. I'm going to give everybody just about a minute to allow everybody else to join the room, and we'll get started here in about 60 seconds. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us to geek out about new hearing aid technology. We're excited to share with you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Dr. Emily Johnson, and I'm one of the audiologists at Advanced Audiology Consultants. Welcome to the third talk in our Tech Talk series. We are so excited to have Dr. Katrina Gunton here with us from Signia Hearing Aids. So we're just going to get started with a brief introduction of our office. So our team at Advanced Audiology Consultants has expanded. If you've been with us for a while, you definitely know Dr. Dawn Hyman and Lindsay Doherty. And we've expanded to including myself, Dr. Celine Violin, and Dr. Stephanie Michaelides. So if you haven't met any of us, please come on into the office. We look forward to meeting you. I've been an audiologist for 5 years and love taking care of patients of all ages and showing them what new hearing aid technology can do for them. So in this webinar, we're going to give you an insider's view to the latest hearing aid technology because we want you to know what's possible for your hearing and what's been updated and released. As several manufacturers have released new technology, we want you to be an informed consumer when you make that decision to upgrade or just learn about new tech and what you can do with your hearing. So we're going to ask that you turn off all distractions, silence your cell phone. You are welcome to eat your lunch during this lunch period talk, but we really want you to take in all the information that Dr. Gunton has to share today. And stay with us until the end. It'll be worth it. We want you to hear all of the different features that are possible with these new Signia hearing aids. And we want you to be here all the way through this 1-hour seminar. It's just an hour out of your day, and we so appreciate you taking your time to spend with us. So our goals in our office is to make sure that every patient feels heard, take you through our proven process for success with hearing aids, as well as just your hearing journey and hearing health. Reduce your overwhelm by slowing it down, breaking it down for you, and making sure that you are informed and educated and you feel confident in your decisions and your hearing journey. And every hearing journey is unique. Your ears and your hearing loss is different than your neighbors, is different than your spouses, it's different than your friends. And we want to make sure that we're catering all of our needs to fit what you're looking for specifically in your everyday life. So starting with scheduling, it's the key. So there's Lindsay. If you call in, you might speak with her or our receptionist, Jennifer, and they're going to make sure that they do an adequate intake to make sure that you're scheduled correctly with the correct audiologist for the right amount of time and that we can hit all of your needs within your one appointment scheduled with us. And so we're going to make sure that you've got the good time slot, what exactly you need. Are you a new patient and you need a full hearing test, new hearing aids? Are you a current patient looking to upgrade or just potentially explore and demo new technology? Or do you just need your current hearing aids adjusted? And we're going to send that appointment time and questionnaires via email. So it's very easy and convenient for you to fill out at home. So step 2 is our evaluation. During our evaluation, we're going to be listening, learning, and teaching about all of the different types of your hearing loss, the hearing aid technology, what's going to be best for you, if it's just tweaking what you already have versus demoing something new, whatever's going to adequately meet the needs that you're looking for at that time. So we're all ears during your history. That's when we want to fact find. We want to know everything about you, the changes, what's new, where you'd like to improve, where you're already doing well, and what we can do to make your hearing loss a little bit less impactful on your everyday life. We've got all the systems for best practices, including real ear measurements to make sure that the hearing aids are doing what we think they're doing in your ears when we program them on the computer to verify that you're hearing the best that you can and that everything has been optimized for speech and to reduce noise. So we have great follow-up. We're going to have several appointments with you after you demo our hearing aids and get fit with your own pair, or we're going to check on you following an adjustment to make sure that we've resolved any issues or difficulties that you experienced when you initially came into the office. And we're here for long-term care. We want to see you routinely for those hearing aid checks to keep your technology up and running and in tip-top shape to make them life expectancy expand as long as possible. So when you come into the office, we're going to do the comprehensive case history, either in person or virtually over like a Zoom like this. And we're going to give you a complete hearing evaluation, maybe one of the most complete you've ever had, including testing speech and background noise, looking at your eardrum movement, making sure that things either have changed, haven't changed, where are you compared to the last time you had your hearing tested, or if this is the very first time that you've had your hearing tested, what does your baseline look like? We're going to go through all of your test results and give you printed copies in a folder, and we can also email them to you so you have a digital copy for your own records. And then we're obviously going to offer you the option to demo hearing aids and the new hearing technology if you're interested in upgrading or looking at something new, because while our office is fantastic, it simply isn't representative of the real world. And we want you to take your hearing aid technology out into the real world, your home, your life, to see, does it make the improvements that you're looking for, and can we tweak it and go from there? So the hearing aid demo is going to allow you to start rehabilitating your brain right away. We want you to hear better now. Most of the time, it's been a while since you started noticing difficulty before you come into office, and we want you to start hearing better and living your everyday life as soon as possible. So we'll fit you with hearing aids that day, and then you'll follow up with us a week later to check in and see how it's gone. And we're going to ask you questions about your lifestyle. Do you like to manipulate your hearing aids, or are you somebody who puts them on, want to put them on and forget it? What's your dexterity like? And we're going to choose the best demo product for you, your lifestyle, and your hearing loss. And then we're going to fit according to your prescription and tolerance of the new sounds. If you're a brand new user, you're not going to be fit likely to 100% prescription, and that's okay. If you're somebody who's been wearing hearing aids a long time, we'll likely be able to go full force from the beginning, but it's all totally independent on your preferences. And we are just simply the guide to help you hearing better. We perform real ear measurement in our office. So we'll put a little tube into your ear with the hearing aids to ensure that the hearing aid is performing the way we expect it to, and that we're maximizing your access to speech and language. We offer the hearing wellness plan. So we're going to give you written and video program guides to walk you through the rehab process, because it's not just as simple as putting on the devices. We want to help retrain your brain to get used to hearing and listening in your everyday life, and kind of orient you to your new devices, what to expect and when, and help guide you along that process. So real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody's not going to know whether you did it or not. So everybody in this office wants the best for you, and we are going to program the hearing aids to your specifications, verify that with Real Ear, practice best practices. Nobody's checking up on us besides ourselves and our integrity, and we want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for you in every situation. So throughout this Tech Talk with Dr. Gunton, go ahead and put any questions that you have in the chat box over on the right side. I will help moderate it, and then she can also address any questions either during the presentation or at the end. I will leave that decision up to her, but she is here to guide us and tell us all about Signia's new wonderful hearing aids. So I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Katrina Gunton. Give her a warm welcome.
All right. So hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about what's new at Signia. Obviously, we all know there's a lot of change in the hearing aid industry. There's always new things coming out, and I'm just so excited to share with you what we have going on at Signia. As Dr. Johnson said, my name is Katrina Gunton. I am an audiologist. I practiced in private practice, similar to Dr. Johnson, for several years before making the move over to Signia. So today I just really have planned some discussion about the history of Signia, what technology we have on the market. We're going to talk a little bit about the different form factors that we offer it in and some recent research. As she said, I encourage you throughout the presentation, please feel free to write questions in the chat box. I'll try to get to those throughout the presentation. It's a little bit more fun when we can be engaged and I can feel like it's more of a conversation versus me just talking at you. So feel free. Please put any questions you have in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. So let's jump into a little bit of history. So Signia really is a leader in technology and design. We've been helping the world here for over 140 years. We've been in this industry. We currently supply 1 in every 4 hearing aids worldwide. So it is important to note we are a global company and we are helping people hear all over the world. We've received numerous awards for excellence and innovation, some of which I'm going to talk about throughout the presentation today. And one thing that I really love about Signia is that we do have so many unique product offerings. So as an audiologist, I loved fitting Signia because I knew whatever that patient was bringing to the table, there was probably a form factor or a style of hearing aid within Signia that would work for every person. So one major goal at Signia is we don't want anyone to feel left behind just because they require a different style or perhaps they have different unique needs. We really want to be a solution for anybody who's struggling with hearing loss. So, as I said, we've been in this industry for 140 years. We started this company back in 1878. We were originally associated with Siemens, so many people recognize the Siemens brand name. We were with Siemens for many, many years until about 8 years ago. Our hearing aid industry was just growing so much that we chose to separate and take the brand name Signia so that we could really dedicate more research and resources to the hearing aid space. That being said, we do have over 7 research hubs with over 1,100 employees just dedicated to research and development within Signia. So it's something we're very passionate about. We employ about $160 million a year just in technology research and design. So we are constantly analyzing the technology we currently have on the market and seeing what can we do to even improve hearing a little bit more for our patients out there. So as I said, I'll be talking about that technology today. We employ a lot of patents. So some of the features I'll be talking about today are patented. And as I said, we've employed really a lot of the industry's first. So if we look back in 2016, we actually had the world's first inductive rechargeable hearing aid called the Signia Celion. In 2020, we started using artificial intelligence, which I know is a big buzzword in the industry today. So our artificial intelligence is all designed within our app that patients use. So I'll touch on that a little bit throughout the presentation. And then we did just launch our new hearing aid platform back in October. So we'll talk about that a lot today as well. Okay. So as I said, our mission at Signia is really to understand all aspects of real conversation and use this knowledge to create innovative hearing solutions that enrich the lives of our wearers. So we are really trying to unleash the power of conversation. Understanding others and engaging in conversation is really at the core of all that we do. And that really is the motivation behind our technology, is making sure that people who use our hearing aids can understand and participate in conversation around them. So it's no surprise that this is our focus. There's been a lot of research looking at what people want to see in hearing aids. And by far, whether you wear hearing aids or not, the biggest need for people is following conversations in the presence of noise, whether that's conversations in large groups, conversations in small groups. And again, that's also the biggest need for people who already wear hearing aids. So we know that there's definitely room for improvement in this space. And that's what we're hoping to achieve with our new platform called Integrated Experience. So knowing that group conversation is really the biggest unmet need for people with hearing loss, that has been our ultimate focus with this new launch. We know that not only can it be frustrating, but people can often isolate themselves and not be engaged in the lifestyle that they were when they had normal hearing. So I know as an audiologist, I talk to so many people that would say, you know, I used to like going out to restaurants, and now it's just gotten so difficult that I only go at certain times, or maybe I don't go at all. Perhaps you don't enjoy family gatherings as much as you used to because it's just hard to participate in that conversation and you may feel isolated. We really don't want people to miss out on these moments. We know certainly that there are so many health effects of untreated hearing loss, and we really want people to feel like they can wear hearing aids and still engage and live as full a life as they were when they had normal hearing. So, jumping into the technology, there's really been two major approaches to how hearing aids work in background noise. That's true for Signia, that's true for really all the manufacturers. The two philosophies here are really very different in how they function. So if we're looking at the broad focus idea over on the right, this is really when we first introduced hearing aids, we said we want to amplify everything. So whether it's background noise, whether it's speech, we want to mimic as normal hearing as possible. If you can't hear it, we're going to make it louder. We know from being in this industry that that doesn't always work for people. When you first get hearing aids, often you're not used to hearing so much background noise, and that can actually overpower your ability to understand speech. So many people with hearing problems may have processing concerns where even if they're hearing that level of background noise at a normal level, it's still too much and it interferes with their understanding. Signia has typically fallen on the approach with the narrow focus that you can see on the left. So as I said, our philosophy is conversation. We are always trying to improve conversation. Typically what that means is we would employ what's called a narrow focus or directionality. And ideally that directionality works in that cone that you see facing directly in front of the person. So we would really try to highlight that speaker that's standing directly in front, and we would try to turn down all of the noise occurring around the person. This worked really well for a long time. You know, people could hear the person standing right in front of them. They weren't as distracted by the noise, but there are downsides to this approach as well, as you can imagine. So if you're looking at this diagram, you can see that there's actually 3 conversation partners around the individual. So there is one in front that is highlighted in that directionality stream, but there are 2 people that are actually in the shadows, meaning that the hearing aid is not picking them up because they're not standing directly in front of the person. This has been a major complaint of hearing aids throughout the years. Typical complaint that I would hear is, when I'm at a restaurant, I can hear someone standing directly in front of me, but I'm not able to hear the people standing next to me unless I look at them. And as an audiologist, I used to counsel, well, you know, the hearing aids aren't smart enough to know which voice you want to hear. You really have to make sure that you turn your head and that you're looking at whoever you want the hearing aid to pick up. This has been a huge struggle for people, and probably one of the reasons that group conversation and noise has been one of the biggest difficulties. Is typically in the past, it's really just focused on what's happening directly in front of the person. We know that conversations are extremely dynamic, and it's not always possible to look at the exact point that you want to hear. Often conversation is moving and flowing, or there's multiple people involved in the conversation. So, that being said, back in 2020, we released our previous platform called Augmented Experience, trying to address this problem. So what we did is we actually improved our hearing aids to include 2 processors. We were the only hearing aid manufacturer to use 2 processors in our hearing aid, with the goal of attracting speech on one processor and analyzing background noise on the other processor. What we were able to do with that is truly separate speech from background noise so that it was 2 separate signal streams, allowing speech to pop more out of the background noise instead of saying, we're just going to focus on this small slice of pie directly in front of us. We were better able to separate speech out from the background noise regardless of where it was occurring in the background environment. However, we knew that we could go even a step further than that. And that's really where we introduced Integrated Experience, or IX, as we call it, back in October. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we did with IX that's different. We do have a really great video that provides a visual of this concept, and I think it really helps people understand what's going on because you can actually see what's happening in a live space. It is a few minutes long, so I'm going to have Dr. Johnson just play that video for us, and then we'll reconnect right after and talk through some of what we saw.
We at Signia are thrilled to unveil our latest innovation, Signia Integrated Experience. And we're going to demonstrate its groundbreaking real-time conversation enhancement technology to you. You won't believe what it can do. until you see it in action. Hearing group conversations in noise can be difficult for everyone, but can especially be difficult for those with hearing loss. This is why we developed Signia Integrated Experience with real-time conversation enhancement. It's the world's first hearing aid with a multi-stream architecture capable of accurately pinpointing multiple speakers in real-time conversation, even as they move or as the wearer turns their head. With real-time conversation enhancement, you can clearly hear the conversation, no matter where it goes. If you can hear clearly, it means you don't ever miss out and can fully contribute to the conversation. Let me show you what I mean with a demonstration of how the device undertakes real-time conversation enhancement. Let's have a listen and take a look. Okay, so we have a mannequin set up wearing our brand new Signia Integrated Experience hearing aids. We are recording the live hearing aid sound. We have 8 loudspeakers recreating the sound of a noisy restaurant. And my 2 lovely colleagues, Erin and Homayun, will be joining me today. Lastly, we have a tablet connected to the Signia Integrated Experience hearing aids with a custom app to show visually what the hearing aids are doing live. Okay, let's run it.
Right now, you are listening to the sound through a hearing aid with traditional processing. As you can hear, my speech is almost drowned out by the background noise. So now, Barinder, let's switch to Signia Integrated Experience Processing. And if I start talking here, you can see that the hearing aid immediately picks up my location and enhances my voice so you hear me clearly above the noise.
Yep, and now it immediately picks up my location to enhance my voice too. But people aren't always standing still. So you can see that even when I move, it stays locked on me and keeps my voice clear.
And it even picks me up when I talk from behind.
And it can track multiple speakers who are talking at the same time.
Thanks, guys. But it's not just conversation partners who sometimes move. We also naturally turn our heads during conversations. Let's switch to another mode in the app to demonstrate how Signia Integrated Experience handles this.
As you'll see, when Homayun turns the head, the hearing aids recognize that the direction of my speech is changing, and they stay locked onto my voice, ensuring it stays clear.
Okay, let's talk about how it works.
Sure. Real-time conversation enhancement technology is constantly analyzing up to 192,000 data points per second, detecting speech from one or more talkers, mapping its direction and the conversation dynamics.
It then enhances each individual speaker, updated 1,000 times a second, so you never miss out.
That's right. And all of this happens in partnership with our unique dual processor technology, Augmented Focus.
This helps ensure that speech is prominent while making the environment feel dynamic and immersive.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. Let's wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed the demo. This is just one of our technologies designed to help you hear better and actively participate in life with confidence. There are many more. At Signia, we believe in the power of conversation, and we are excited for you to discover the unique benefits of Signia Integrated Experience with real-time conversation enhancement.
Okay. I saw, Karen, your chat that you weren't able to see the video. Looks like other people were able to see it, so I'm sure in a follow-up we can certainly send you the link to the video so that you can view it. Essentially, and what I love about this video is that it first shows you how you hear with traditional technology, and you could hear that that background noise really overwhelmed the conversation partner. When we were using the integrated experience technology, you could see that that speech really popped out of the background noise. It did not mean that the background noise was entirely eliminated, because remember, we still want to be aware that you're in a noisy place. We want it to sound like a realistic sound environment, but we do want to separate it from the speech so that speech is very clear while still being aware of the noise. Something that I think this video, just with the demonstration, does a really great job showing is that Signia is no longer using that single focus stream that typically hearing aids use. So we're actually able to use multiple focus streams at the same time to figure out where conversation partner is. We're locking onto them in real time, and it is adjusting as they move. So even if someone is turning their head, we still know that they probably want to hear someone close to them. So it is going to continue enhancing that voice, even if they're not looking at the person. So it really takes the legwork out of it for the hearing aid wearer, because in the past you used to have to look at everyone you wanted to hear. It was a little bit more involved to hear well. We really want people to be able to sit back, live their life as they normally would, and be able to hear all conversation partners within a 6-foot range. So this technology is working within 6 feet. Research has shown that typically if you're having a conversation with someone outside that 6-foot range, you would move closer, you would change your environment to be able to hear them better. We all know that there are times in our house where maybe you're listening to a spouse through floors or through walls. This hearing aid is certainly not going to help those situations. I don't think that there is any hearing aid that will. So we really designed it to work within that ideal communication space. I just like to note that because I get a lot of questions of, what if I'm at a restaurant and there's a really noisy table next to us? As long as they're outside that 6-foot range, they can be as loud as they want. The hearing aids are not going to be picking up that conversation partner because it can tell that they are too far away to probably be a conversation partner. It's really going to focus on people within that listening range. So that being said, we have a 3-step process as to how these focus streams work. I'm going to walk through each step. There's really a lot of detail and a lot of technology that goes into each of these steps. So I'm just going to do a brief overview. The 3 steps are to analyze the signals, augment the signals, and then adapt as the environment changes. So starting with analyze, there's really a lot that we're looking at in this phase of the technology. So we have what's called a conversation source analyzer. This is technology that's really looking at the location and the proximity of those conversation partners. So as I said, we're really looking to enhance speech within that 6-foot conversation partner range. That's where the focus streams are going to be employed. Someone could be closer, we're going to shorten that focus stream. Someone could be on, the furthest at 6 feet, and we're going to lengthen that focus stream to pick up their voice. We're also looking at the speech level. So we know if someone is a soft talker, we need to raise that volume of their voice even a little bit more than if they were a loud talker. So we are taking that into account while we're making our adjustments. The second thing within the analyze phase is our conversation dynamics analyzer. And this is something that as an audiologist, I just totally geek out about. We're really looking at turn taking in conversation and the timing of conversation. So we know that when you're engaged in a conversation with someone, there's back and forth. So, maybe I talk sometimes, there's a pause, and then the conversation partner is talking. Our focus streams are maintaining their focus on that conversation partner, even when there's pauses in conversation. So we know that typically if a conversation partner stops speaking, they're likely to start speaking again. And we do not want the hearing aids to recalibrate every time that pause happens. We want the focus stream to maintain its focus on them so that as soon as they start talking again, their voice is automatically augmented to a level at which the hearing aid wearer can hear and understand. Lastly, we're also looking at the surrounding sound. So we're constantly measuring the noise level in the room and looking at the noise location so that we are not pointing the focus stream at noise. We're only directing it at speech. So if we say had 2 people off to my right, if they're far enough apart and there's noise coming from between them, we're going to employ 2 separate focus streams so that we are not getting that noise between them. If there's no noise between them, we may lump them into one focus stream so that the other 2 are free to latch onto other people in the environment. So We are constantly analyzing a lot of data. We're looking at 192,000 data points every second, which is another industry first. So we are really analyzing the most data in that environment to make sure that we're making the most accurate adjustments for the voices that you want to hear most. So the second step of this three-stage process is using those focus streams that you saw in the video. We have up to 3 advanced focus streams, and each one is operating independently. So as I said before, if someone is moving closer or farther away, that focus stream is stretching or shrinking. It's constantly following people in the environment in real time so that you don't have to miss a word of what they say, even if you turn your head or they start moving. As you can see here, there are 2 people actually that are involved in the right focus stream. We're able to widen or narrow those focus streams to include as many people that are in that area as possible. So there's a lot of dynamics going on in just changing constantly. So that being said, we are adapting everything up to 1,000 times per second. So that is how we are able to achieve the real-time conversation enhancement, is we are just constantly analyzing the environment, we're augmenting speech, and then we are adapting it 1,000 times a second to make sure that the result is a live auditory space. So we want to make sure that we're keeping track of every conversation partner, we're tracking all the background noise in that environment, and just keeping up with those dynamic and challenging acoustic environments. Okay, so at this point, usually when I'm talking to audiologists or patients, they say, wow, that sounds really great. How do we know that it works? As I said, Signia is big on research. We want to always verify that what we are releasing is doing what we're telling you it's doing. So that being said, I want to touch really quick on our research network. As I said at the beginning, we're a global company. We have a lot of research hubs all across the world. We actually are lucky enough to have one right here in Lisle, Illinois. So sometimes we'll see them recruiting for studies in Lisle. It's kind of exciting to have the research being done so close to us. We're looking at a multitude of focuses. So whether it's physiological effects, neural or behavioral, we're just constantly looking into our technology and seeing what we can do to improve conversation. I'm going to talk about one recent study. So as I said, we released this technology in October. It's now been about 6 months, and we did do a study looking at how our hearing aids compare to the other top manufacturers' products. So this study was done with multiple speakers. So we used KEMAR, which is a research tool used in audiology. It's essentially a fake head that you put hearing aids on, and you can measure things at KEMAR's ear level. So we had background noise coming from behind KEMAR, speech again coming from multiple directions in the front, and then we were measuring what's called the signal to noise ratio at KEMAR's ear. So really what we're looking at with signal to noise ratio is, again, how much does that speech pop out of the background noise? We want that speech signal to be louder in comparison to background noise. The results are really striking. So you can see this first bar graph is just the KEMAR, the study head with open ear, no hearing aids. We know that because of our ears and the curved effect, there's going to be a level of improvement just with our ears and no hearing aids. It's called the pinna effect. So we really want to see a greater than 4 dB improvement in scores. Signia is highlighted in red. So our hearing aids showed a 12 dB improvement, which is really clinically significant in terms of improving that signal to noise ratio. We have a 4 dB advantage over the next closest competitor in this study. So if you're looking for a hearing aid that is proven to do the best in background noise right now, IX is certainly paving the way. And that all has to do with how our focus streams are working and how it's so different from traditional technology. You can see some other brands listed. We never release the brand names. I don't even know the brand name. So I get that question all the time of what manufacturer is this brand and what is this brand? We keep it very discreet. We don't mention the brand names in our studies, so you won't be able to find that, unfortunately. So moving over to some different research really is about the underutilization of hearing aids. So there's actually 80% of adults that are ages 55 through 74 who could use a hearing aid and they choose not to. There are so many reasons that someone might choose not to get a hearing aid. The big one that I'm going to focus on today is stigma. So we know that a lot of people choose not to get hearing aids because they feel like it makes them feel old. There's some societal stigma of, oh, I'm going to get judged if I wear hearing aids. I met a lot of young professionals who were very nervous about wearing hearing aids that were visible just because of how people would perceive their capabilities. So we at Signia know that stigma is still a major thing that's preventing people from getting hearing aids, and we are doing a lot to address this. As I mentioned in the beginning, we know that not getting hearing aids is related to a lot of health risks. I'm sure Dr. Johnson in the practice can talk more about that with you, but there's a lot of recent research showing that untreated hearing loss increases your risk of cognitive decline. So we want to do whatever we can to get people who need hearing aids into wearing them. A lot of people think hearing aids still look like this. Obviously, if you're attending this talk, you're probably familiar with the fact that hearing aids no longer look like this. They don't whistle as much as they did, and there are a lot of features that are really cool and fun to take advantage of. At Signia, we're really trying to expand access to hearing aids by incorporating more stylish design. So we know that technology and electronics, a lot of people see this as an extension of themselves. We don't want to promote only hearing aids that are discreet. We want to give people an option to maybe choose a hearing aid that better fits their style. We really want to change that societal narrative that there's a stigma to getting hearing aids and that hearing aids cannot be cool. That being said, I'm going to jump into what hearing aids we currently offer. So on our IX platform, we currently have 4 different styles of hearing aids. The first one is our Pure Charge and Go IX. This is your traditional looking hearing aid. The second is the Stiletto IX. This hearing aid, again, was specifically designed to help combat some of that stigma. It doesn't look quite as traditional. It looks more unique and stylish. We also have the Silk Charge and Go IX. This is a hearing aid that goes completely in the ear and is rechargeable, which is another industry first, something that's been really, really exciting to see. And then our Incio IX, which is our custom fully in the ear hearing aid. All of these hearing aids are on our most recent platform, and I'm going to walk through them a little bit one by one. So Stiletto IX, again, is that slim Rick hearing aid. We've done about 5 generations of Stiletto now, so we've really perfected this style of hearing aid. It comes with all the same features that I discussed in that video, so the real-time conversation enhancement, everything is included in this hearing aid. It's really just a different style. If you want something that looks a little bit non-traditional, a lot of people love this hearing aid because the charger looks like an AirPod case. It just looks really sleek and stylish. It does connect to your phone for Bluetooth streaming, and we also have tap control on the hearing aids. So when you are streaming a phone call or answering a phone call, you can just tap the hearing aids just like you would a headphone to answer that call. So it has a lot of really fun features that people just love to take advantage of. There's a couple more practical things to consider. So we do have an IP68 rating on all of our hearing aids, which essentially means that if you accidentally drop it in water or you're in a very dusty area, the hearing aid electronics are still protected. We also have a hydrophobic and oleophobic coating, which means that we're protecting the hearing aid from water or oil in the skin. The Stiletto does have 20 hours of runtime. If you are someone who streams a lot from your phone, that does go down to a 17-hour runtime, but still plenty of runtime to get you through the day. The really nice thing is this is a rechargeable hearing aid. Anytime you put it in the charger for a quick 30 minutes, you're going to get an additional 5 hours. So if you had a really long day, or maybe you forgot to charge it one night, you can just pop the hearing aids into the charger for a short time and get some additional battery life to get you through the rest of the day. So as I said, Stiletto is really not designed to blend in. So we offer Stiletto in some more fun or techie colors. You can see them all here. It's really a variety so that people can choose whichever style appeals to them most. If you are someone who says, no, I don't think that I need a non-traditional hearing aid, I'm perfectly comfortable with the traditional technology, we of course still have our Pure Charge and Go IX. These do come in a variety of colors that are really designed to match hair color or skin tone. I still see some people who choose to get a fun color regardless. People love the rose gold at the end there. So we do see a lot of popularity with this style as well. The Pure Charge and Go TIX also has a much longer battery life than our Stiletto. So we've really designed our hearing aids to be foolproof when it comes to rechargeability. We never want you to have charging issues. And so that's why we released this hearing aid with a 39-hour battery runtime. Typically, people charge their hearing aids at night. So with 39 hours of runtime, it's never going to die on you during the day. This is perfect for people who travel, work long hours, and want to make sure that their battery life is always good. Again, this one also has a fast charge function. So if you charge the hearing aids for 30 minutes, you'll get an additional 6 hours of runtime with this hearing aid. At Signia, we believe in a lot of charger options. We believe in a lot of patient choice when it comes to style and chargers and accessories. So we do have multiple charger options to choose from. I will say that first charger, the multi-charger, is designed more for clinic use or for an additional backup charger. It is very small, so I have a lot of people who use it as an additional travel charger they can leave in their suitcase. The charger that comes standard with our Pure Charge and Go, the style I previously discussed, is that standard charger. If you are someone who wants a portable charger with that extra charge function, the portable charger holds 4 full charges and is a $25 upgrade at the time of ordering your hearing aid. The dry and clean charger on the end is one that's perfect for people who travel to Florida or other humid places and you want some level of a dehumidifier inside your hearing aid charger. This is really able to suck the moisture out of your hearing aids, and it also has a UV light to cleanse your hearing aid as well while it's charging. This one is a $50 upgrade at the time of ordering, so you really have a lot of options when it comes to your charger, and it's very affordable to decide on a different charger should you require it. Our accessories, we do have a remote microphone. So if in background noise you're still having trouble, even with the real-time conversation enhancement, our remote mic is able to be clipped on your conversation partner so that their voice is picked up and directly transmitted to your hearing aids. This is something that a lot of people have used over the years and just loved. So we still have it available on our platform. We also have a Streamline TV, and this feature is probably the most popular accessory that I've seen. The Streamline TV connects into your TV so that the person wearing the hearing aids can listen at a volume that's comfortable to them, and the person who isn't wearing hearing aids can maintain whatever volume is comfortable to them outside the hearing aids. So I have a lot of people who maybe you like to watch TV early in the morning and your spouse is still sleeping. You can listen through the Streamline TV and keep that volume coming out of the actual TV at an absolute minimum because you can hear from your hearing aids. So this one is very, very popular. Lastly, we do have a mini pocket remote. So if you are someone who's not comfortable using the app on your phone, or you don't want to use any onboard controls on the hearing aid, we do have a remote that people can use, again, if they're just not comfortable with those other 2 methods of changing any features on the hearing aids. So after mentioning the app, I should just say that our hearing aids are iPhone and Android compatible. So if you are looking for a hearing aid app, it will work on both iPhone and Android. If you're looking for hands-free streaming, so if you're looking for when you take a phone call, the hearing aid picks up your voice and transmits the signal from the phone, that is with any iPhone 11 and newer. It's important just to check the compatibility of your phone, but I will say that we just have a growing list of what phones we're compatible with, but I always caution you to check before you move forward with any hearing aid. Okay, I want to touch briefly on the Silk Charge and Go. This style we released in October. It has been very, very popular since we released it because, as we know, there are a lot of people out there that are looking for a completely in-the-ear, discreet hearing aid, but they also want it to be convenient and rechargeable. That is exactly what our Silk was designed to achieve. So you can see here that there is a charger that comes with it. This charger, again, holds a charge of 3 full charges. You can leave it plugged into your wall, or it charges on one of those wireless Qi charging pads. So if you're someone that uses that for your phone, That works for this hearing aid as well. And it does have a 28-hour battery life. So again, very reliable in terms of getting you through the entire day with your hearing aids. This is just another picture of the Silk. So something that's very unique about our Silk is that typically these in-ear devices only have one microphone, which really limits the ability to have any directionality in the hearing aids. We have a patented design that allows us to achieve directionality using just this one mic system. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at a style that's completely in the ear, is what type of features is it going to offer me? Battery life with streaming. Good question. So this in-the-ear device does not have Bluetooth. It does have the ability to connect to your app, but it does not have direct streaming. The Bluetooth antenna in there would just make the device too big. But if you're someone that wants to control volume or program change, you can still do that within the app with this hearing aid. But good question. Okay. So lastly, I'll just introduce our Incio IX. This is a style that comes in an entirely in the canal style. So if you are someone that has worn this fully custom style in the past, or you're someone that the Silk just isn't working for and you don't mind changing a battery, this is a perfect style for you. It does take a size 10 battery, and it does come in a variety of styles and options for anyone to choose what color they prefer. The big change on this style, other than including our IX processing chip, is that we've readjusted what's called the faceplate. So you can see the 3 faceplates on the left of the screen. Typically in a style like this, the microphone placement is fixed. So those faceplates come pre-drilled. So when you order the hearing aid, you just get the regular faceplate. What we've changed this year with our IX Incio is that we're able to custom place that microphone wherever is best for your ear canal anatomy. So if we say, you know what, based on this person's anatomy, we need the microphone to be here for sound quality, we can do that now. So it's even further customization for your patient and your needs. Okay. This is my last slide. I just wanted to pull up our full portfolio. We spent most of our time talking about IX today, but just know that there are some other form factors that are not quite as new as October that I didn't mention. So again, something I love about Signia is if you are someone that is looking for a truly unique style, or maybe you do have some very specific needs that don't align with the average person, it's very likely that we have an option for you. And we're going to continue producing many different styles of hearing aids so that we can really improve the lives of any patient that comes in looking for help with their hearing. So with that, I will just open up the floor to any other questions in the chat. I'll give you guys a minute to type. Okay, if there are no questions, I will just hand the floor back to Dr. Johnson.
Oh, Dr. Gunton, we have a question.
Oh, there we go.
Tinnitus.
Any new updates to address tinnitus? So Signia, I could do a whole presentation on our tinnitus features. Signia really has 2 methods of addressing tinnitus in our software. So one is called sound therapy. It uses some different noise stimulus, so white noise, ocean noise, to help soothe the perception of tinnitus. We also have something that is entirely unique to Signia called notch therapy. So notch therapy, what we're doing here is we're creating a notch in the hearing aid output where that frequency is or where that pitch of the tinnitus is. The theory behind this is that there's been a lot of research showing that people who have tinnitus, if they listen to music with a notch at the pitch that their tinnitus occurs at, they've noticed an improvement in their tinnitus. So what we did was integrate that into our hearing aid so that there's a special notch at that pitch of the tinnitus, and over time, there's a reduction in tinnitus. So again, that's something that we could have a whole presentation on, but yes, there's a lot of features in our hearing aids for tinnitus. Any other questions? Okay, I think that's it. Thank you all. I'll hand it back to Dr. Johnson, and if there are any other questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much to Dr. Gunton at Signia for, Dr. Gunton, we have another question about trials for the tinnitus feature. So I will take that question. If you come in and demo the hearing aid, yes, we would be able to activate some of those tinnitus features for you during your demo session. So you'd be able to try them out in your everyday life. So I hope that answers your question, Brenda. Perfect. Great. So thank you so much, everybody, for taking this time out of your day to come listen to the Tech Talk. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing and meeting you all in office. Come on in, try out wonderful new hearing aids from Signia. And if you have any other questions, please reach out. Otherwise, give us a call at 630-930-1025 to schedule your appointment and see how we can get you hearing better today. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.